It's day 25, only a few days left to answer the questions. And today's question is the unplayed RPG you own. So who's going to let's throw that question up on screen. Who's going to take this one, Newman?
It's going to be me, although I do like Lydia's answer to this, which is far too many. There are far too many RPGs
I'm with Lydia. Yep. I have so many things sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
So Newman, jump into the spotlight and tell us why.
Okay, I've got loads on the shelf, but the one I'm going to pick out, and I know it's this is a rather unique one, but it's going to be Kids on Bikes. But the reason this is my unplayed RPG I own is because I haven't got around to it. I've got I play a lot of horror mystery anyway. This falls into horror mystery, but this also very much falls into two categories that I really love and I wish I could explore more. One is I'm a huge Stephen King fan. And we all know that Kids on Bikes is very much just a reference to Stephen King. And I'm sure there'll be some people out there, perhaps that are younger than us, going, I think you mean Stranger Things. And then there are those that are older that are going to be going, I think you mean Stephen King. And perhaps even authors and creators beyond Stephen King. But I think the Kids on Bikes thing, I would like to explore it because of those kind of early teenage links that I've got to Stephen King and my absolute love of Stephen King. And I think it was his book, not fictional book, but book on writing, that actually had such a profound impact on me when I was writing and when I was kind of doing lots of creative endeavors. And it looks really streamlined. It looks, for those of you out there that have played it, you'll be able to tell me, but the character sheet, it looks really basic in terms of preparation for it. But at the same time, the art looks really cool. It's got that kind of young teeny vibe to it. I'm a teacher as well, so this is the kind of thing that when I'm running my role-playing game clubs at school, I feel like my students could really get into. If I'm running it as the GM, I feel like my students, as it's Kids on Bikes, these are kids that are aging from 12 years old up to 18 years old. They could really buy into this and really get on board with it. So I feel like I need someone who knows this game really well to run it for me so I can cheat and learn it through them. And then begin running it myself. So there you go.
Yeah. Lydia, did you say you've got one?
I have far too many, but I think the one that's kind of been top of my list for a while, and I don't know why I never get around to actually running it. It's a very simple game. It's called This Horrible Goose, and it's an improv game which is inspired by the Untitled Goose Game.
Okay.
And essentially, you live in a village, a very lovely, idyllic village, and a horrible goose, which is also an eldritch abomination in this version, just basically comes and screws up your life. And you just draw a card and it just asks you to improv something and asks you a question. How has the goose ruined your life today, essentially? So it might say something like, you have a hobby that you absolutely love. What has the goose done to ruin it for you? And you might have something like, oh, I really love to knit. So the goose turned up at my window one night and insisted that I make effigies of it out of knitting or something. And now all I want to do is kind of make sweaters, but I can't because I have to sit here knitting these little geese and offering it to him as an angry god kind of offering.
That sounds like Newman should play that in drama class. I mean,
it is. Well, this is exactly what it is kind of designed as. It's kind of 50% RPG and 50% kind of actors warm up, really.
Wow.
So it's just sounds so much fun. And
was it called This Angry Goose?
It's called This Horrible Goose.
This horrible goose.
I will drop a link to it at some point for you.
It's a horrible goose.
So we all have unplayed RPGs because, as I say, I mentioned Humble Bundle and Bundle of Holding. They just give you the opportunity to own all these games you can buy, and Kickstarters are plenty. So if you have an unplayed RPG you own, let us know on Discord. And yes, we'll have to see what day 26 brings for us tomorrow.